Tonight, the Kern Sports Special is coming to you from the Bakersfield College Gymnasium, where Camera One will be bringing you through Warner Amex cable television the first of a series of playoff games for the high school basketball championships of the San Joaquin Valley. I'm Gil Bishop, and I'm very happy to have an old friend of mine here with me, the Commissioner of Athletics for Kern County High Schools, Don Harrison. Don, especially, I'm happy to see here because Don got out of the hospital not too long ago. The only thing bad I can say about him, it didn't affect his golf game. He still went out and shot a score lower than I want to give him credit for. But Don, really, the reason that I asked you to be with us tonight before we open this game between Bakersfield and Lemoore is to talk a little bit about the playoffs and how they work, and I don't think there's anybody more knowledgeable than you are.
Well, Gil, we have made some changes this year, and it's going to start right now. We've broken them down now to the Yosemite, Sequoia, and the Sierra divisions, and they all will have champions. The Yosemite winner will eventually go on to a regional and then to a possible state playoff. The Sequoia and Sierra will play each other at the end, and the winner of that will go on down to play in what we call the medium-size or small school division in the same way the Yosemite does. We've also made some changes within the Yosemite division, and that is that we now let each of the schools, they seed the teams and are based on their records. They go on a home team basis. Like tonight, Bakersfield High, who is the #1 seed in the Valley, is the home team. They will get to continue being the home team all the way through until the final game. And then the final game is rotated amongst the sections like we used to do. We used to stop that at the semifinals, and now we don't do that. So it's a real advantage to be a winner in your league and to get that home court advantage of which Bakersfield High has.
How many weekends will this take then? Counting this weekend, it sounds like it's going to be a 3-weekend affair. Is that right?
This weekend, and then next weekend it'll be on a Friday, and then the championship game on a Saturday. Then it goes Saturday the next night.
Don, of course, playing in the Bakersfield College gym is much like playing on a neutral floor for the host school. And I know that you and the coaches and the administrators got together to make a decision like that. But I certainly have to feel that one of the reasons is it's such a good location as far as separating the rooting sections, a lot of room to work on the floor, has a lot of things going for it.
Well, right, Gil, and I'd be lying if I said that we've had a few problems with some spectators this year, and we've taken care of those problems. But anytime you can put a game on in an area that's big and large like this, well lighted, and where everybody can get in to see without crowding and pushing, it's better for basketball. And so anytime we can come up here, we try to come up here at the college.
Well, we're looking forward, of course, to a fine opening ball game in the playoffs here tonight, and we're looking at the champions of the South Yosemite League in Bakersfield and a team from Lemoore, the runner-ups in the West Yosemite League. And I don't know whether you have a whole lot of background on the Lemoore Ball Club, but we understand they're a very well-disciplined team.
Well, they are, and I was talking to the coach, and they are now ranked 9th in the Valley. Bakersfield High is #1. They come in here with a 17-6 record. Bakersfield High is 18-4, and I would say that they will probably try to run a slow-type game against Bakersfield High because they really don't have the height that Bakersfield High does, and I understand they don't have the speed. But if Bakersfield High wins this game, they will play their second game next week in their own gym down at Bakersfield High School because Cal State Bakersfield will be hosting a tournament here in the college gym. And they will be playing there probably either Tulare Western or Clovis, who will be fighting tonight for one of the other spots.
Well, of course, as we put this show on the air on a Sunday night, a lot of these things will be decided, and we're all going to be listening, and telephones will be ringing, everybody wondering who's going to play who.
And right, and then I think Foothill, I want to give them a little credit. They've come along strong, and they've got a good ball club. They have senior Gary Woolfolk who's worked hard this year, and a young sophomore named Joe Turner that's going to be an outstanding player you'll hear a lot about. And you don't want to count them out. They could be meeting Bakersfield, and maybe we'd host it down here, the finals. If not, the final game right now is slated for Mount Whitney's gym on Saturday, next Saturday, a week from tomorrow.
But should it turn out to be two local teams, it would be played in this area.
Be played right here in Bakersfield.
Well, that's the story on the playoffs, and I appreciate Don's coming by to give us a clue on how it all works out before we actually bring you the Bakersfield Lemoore ball game, which we'll be underway with in just a moment. Thanks a lot, Don, and I know you, like I, are looking forward to this one tonight.
Yeah, thank you, Gil, and thank Rob. We appreciate you coming up here and showing this to the fans, because there's so many activities in Bakersfield anymore. They can't always get to the games, and this way at least they can see what we do in our high schools, and I think we've got some of the finest high school ball in this whole area.
Well, our thanks again to Don Harrison, the Commissioner of Athletics for Kern County High Schools, and we'll be back with the start of this ball game in just a moment.
Okay.
Thanks a million. That's great.
Number 15, Henry Lewis.
We're back on the main floor at Bakersfield College just in time to see the Lemoore team come out to be introduced. Number 15 out there is Henry Lewis. Number 33 is Wayne Barnes. Number 43, the tallest of their players. And they've switched a number on us here. No, that's Andy Mounts. Number 23 is Ted Wentz. And number 31, Phil Nisbet, the starting team for the West Yosemite League runner-up, Lemoore. Now here's Bakersfield High School, and a big yell you may hear in the background for their big center, number 35, Otis Jennings. And now here comes David Kelly, number 34. Next player to come out is William Campbell, who will be wearing number 11 when he gets that jacket off. Here comes Ronnie Copeland. He'll be wearing number 12, and followed by Will Smith, who will be wearing number 21. The Kern Sports Special, of course, comes to you by way of Warner Amex Cable, and our sponsors tonight are Floyd's with two fine stores at 3940 Chester and 2020 South Chester, Jim Burke Ford, the automotive specialist at 2001 Oak Street, Kern Schools Federal Credit Union, the school employees' financial partner, Baldwin Newell Insurance at 1122 Truxton, the insurance professionals, and by Pepsi-Cola Bottling Company with Bakersfield headquarters at 215 East 21st Street. And we're just about set to go. Our officials tonight, Joe Daughter, Jerry Scott. Jerry is going to be tossing up the ball at the center circle. And here we go. The first game of this Yosemite Division playoffs. Bakersfield High in white, the visiting team from Lemoore in a purple and gold, and Bakersfield got the tip-off as Otis Jennings, who's 6'8 or 6'9, whoever you talk to, gets a tip. And let's watch that Lemoore team. We'd expect a man-for-man defense, but bingo, as Ronnie Copeland drops one in for Bakersfield, and they're off to an early lead. And they're putting some pressure on Lemoore. This ball game is going to be a little tough on the visitors. They're not all that big, and there's an example as David Kelly picks one off and quickly down the floor. Here's Jennings underneath. Still a scramble for the ball. And the ball goes out of bounds. It'll go to Lemoore. Joe Daughter indicating the Lemoore player should come over to get the ball, and Bakersfield putting a little press on as Kelly is down there. Number 15 for Lemoore is Henry Lewis. Having a tough time getting across that center stripe, but he just makes it. Meantime, out in front, the two guards for Bakersfield, Copeland, Smith, were out there. Bakersfield has Jennings parked back there in the middle, as you can see. Scramble for the ball. Bakersfield comes down with it. We're only about a minute and 15 seconds into the ball game. The Drillers out in front 2-0. A jumper from the free throw line by Campbell doesn't go. Meantime, here's Lewis again trying to find his way down the floor. Has the ball taken away from him, and the Drillers have it with Will Smith with the ball. Gives it over to Copeland. In the corner is Campbell. Campbell looking for an opening. Gets it back out to Smith. Smith now into the corner as Copeland, who hit from there a moment ago, bangs in another one. And Bakersfield High School is out in front 4-0. Off to an early lead, and frankly, Lemoore feared that they might not be able to handle the height of Bakersfield, but thus far it's been the sharp shooting from the corner of Copeland who got the first 4 points. A little delay down the floor while referee Jerry Scott gets the ball and brings it back where it can be brought into the ball game. And meantime, Lemoore playing with a 1-2-2 zone, rather static zone. 34 shooting is Kelly, doesn't get it, goes back after it, doesn't get it, scramble for the ball. And Copeland rolls one around the rim, but there's going to be a foul called on that one. And it would appear from here as though it will be on William Campbell, and it is. Be a non-shooting foul, and the purple and gold-clad Lemoore team take the ball out of bounds. First pass in bounds, and number 33, Wayne Barnes, only 5'9", he's a junior. He's being really harassed on the down floor. Lemoore's having trouble against the press, no question about that. They finally get it in, but right into Jennings. And Otis, who works pretty well for a man his size, and watch this. Well, we said watch this, and you saw it, and we're going to take a quick timeout as Lemoore calls for one. Back into action here at the Bakersfield College Gymnasium, where Bakersfield High School holding a 6-0 lead early in the first quarter over the visitors from Lemoore, as these two teams are battling to progress into the championships. A foul called in the last play against Will Smith. Smith, a 6-foot junior, got a piece of number 33 for Lemoore, Wayne Barnes. And again, a non-shooting foul, but that's 2 team fouls on Bakersfield. No team fouls yet on Lemoore. Long inbound pass goes astray, and Bakersfield quickly down the floor. Kelly underneath, rolls one across. The tap doesn't go. Scramble for the ball, and Lemoore's tallest player, Ted Wentz, comes up with it. Wentz is 6'3". They don't have a great deal of height. Andy Mounts also 6'3", and that's the extent of the stratosphere as far as Lemoore is concerned. Bakersfield playing a man defense, a jumper from the outside, and the first basket scored by Lemoore as Phil Nisbet drops one in. Nisbet is their high-scoring threat, has a 14.7 average this year. So Bakersfield's lead is now down to 6-2 as we're not quite halfway through the opening quarter. Underneath the basket, and a foul is going to be charged against one of the purple-clad Warriors. Here comes Joe Daughter, and he says it's on 23, Ted Wentz. Not in the act of shooting. The drillers will take the ball out of bounds under the basket, and inbounding the ball will be Will Smith. From the side, Copeland, it doesn't go, but a nice rebound by David Kelly. So the drillers with an 8-2 lead, and frankly, from this point, it would look, unless something strange happens, Lemoore may be overmatched here tonight. They're playing against a fine Bakersfield High School team, a team that has a record of 18-4 going into this ball game, and against some good ball clubs. Drillers will take the ball out of bounds on that turnover. Coming down the floor with the ball, number 21 is Will Smith. Smith across to Copeland. There's only one senior on that Bakersfield High School team out there, and that's Otis Jennings, who has the ball right now. And moving the ball around the outside of that Lemoore zone, which is a very compact zone. They've got it really jammed back inside the free throw line. Here's Kelly. He's got a shot. Doesn't get the basket. Follow up. And Copeland is piling up a few points tonight. That's his third basket. And the drillers have a 10-2 lead. And if Lemoore is not careful, they're going to get blown out of this thing. The Tigers working the ball around. Lewis trying to get a shot off. And it goes off a white-clad foot. Will Smith getting his shoes on the ball, and Lemoore will take the ball out of bounds. Will be inbounded by Ted Wentz. We have 3:19 to go in the first quarter with the Bakersfield High Drillers a 10-2 lead. The Wentz did a little walking there, I'm sure. And that's the call by referee Daughter. One extra drag step, and it's a turnover. Daughter's got the count going. The Drillers are going to have to get that ball in. They do. And with a 10-2 lead, ball being brought down the floor, and Smith gets the ball knocked out of his hands, so it's not a backcourt violation. Drives towards the key, 15 feet out, doesn't get it. Rebound followed up. And Copeland is going to have a flock of points here tonight if he keeps on going. Bringing the ball down the floor. This is Wayne Barnes, who is their point guard, their ball handler. Driving down the key. A jumper doesn't go. Jennings rebounds. And a foul being called on the play. Appeared to be on Phil Nisbet, and that is the call. Number 31, Phil Nisbet. Lemoore is going to make a substitution here. Horn is blowing, and here comes John Ekoff. That's spelled E-K-H-O-F-F, and Ekoff comes in for Wentz. And Lemoore has decided to pull out all the stops and put on a little press. Don't think they can press these Bakersfield guards. They're awfully quick. They handle the ball pretty well. And if Lemoore can press them, they'll have to do an excellent job. This is Copeland. Gives it off to Camel. Camel decides to fire, does, and gets. And that lead is now 14-2. And we're going to have a runaway here if things don't change quickly. Barnes bringing the ball down in the key. Jumper doesn't go. Rebound by Campbell. Bakersfield quickly down the floor. Nice pass and underneath to Copeland. Give William Smith, credit for a fine pass. Lemoore is going to take a timeout, and we want to remind you that Floyd's consistently has bargains you can't overlook. Specializing in top quality merchandise and the lowest prices possible, they offer you two great outlets at 3940 Chester and 2020 South Chester. Check Floyd's first. Not a bad slogan to keep in mind. Back to the ball game. 2:03 left to play in the first quarter. Lemoore inbounds the ball. Nesbitt coming down, gets in a little bit of a tangle, but gets out of it. I should have said Rogers. He has the ball there now. Pass goes off to number 15, Lewis. They're having trouble with this Bakersfield defense, which is a man defense, man for man. Jennings comes out to put the stopper on Mounts. Very sticky defense by the white-clad Drillers. 16-2 here with 1:32 left to play and the clock running down in the first quarter. That's going to be a violation. Backcourt. Drillers will get the ball at the mid-stripe line, and this thing may fall completely apart the way it's going. The seats downstairs just about full. Scattered crowd on the far side. And a steal by Wayne Barnes goes in, lays it up, doesn't get it. Lemoore gets the ball back. Barnes tries it again. This time gets one off the glass. And it's 16-4 with 1:12 left to go in the first quarter. The Drillers backed off a little bit on fighting for the board. Here's Jennings. He likes that shot. And you can see why. 18-4 with less than a minute to go in the first quarter, with Bakersfield High School with what looks to be an insurmountable edge out there on the floor. They just appear to be much the classier of the two clubs. Size-wise, quickness. There's a good example, a steal by Will Smith. Lays it up and in, and it's 20-4, and you have to think that the Driller bench is going to see some action tonight. Nesbitt finally gets the ball down floor and clears it off to Wayne Barnes. Barnes underneath the basket. He's not the biggest guy in the world. Jumper doesn't go. Rebounded by Jennings. Quick outlet. Copeland scrambling for the ball. And the Tigers come up with it. Henry Lewis with it. Gives it off to Ekoff, who just came in the ball game a few moments ago. Boy, I'll tell you, this looks like the sixth period gym class right now. Every man for himself. And a foul is going to be called on William Smith. As Joe Daughter says, William, you were just a little too exuberant out there. And that will be the third team foul against the Drillers. Only 2 seconds left to go in the first quarter, with a score Bakersfield 20, Lemoore 4. And what up to here has been some kind of a slaughter. The last shot of the quarter taken by Andy Mounts, bounces off the rim. And the score at the end of the first 8 minutes of play is Bakersfield 20, Lemoore 4, and we'll take this timeout.
We got to talk about that and some
Back into action. The Drillers get the tap as Otis Jennings, 6'8" or 6'9", I'm not too sure which. He's probably right in the middle of that. Lemoore with the ball, and Barnes trying to get a shot off, gives it off to Ryder. Ryder, number 21. Ball is knocked out of his hands by Campbell. So Lemoore will have the ball out of bounds as the officials chase it in the spacious confines of the Bakersfield College gym, which is going to see a lot of good basketball here in the next couple of weeks. And we'll talk more about some of it at halftime with John Henderson, the sports information director at Cal State Bakersfield. So be sure and stay with us at halftime. We'll tell you all about the Cal State situation and the upcoming game scheduled for this coming weekend. Lemoore, of course, trying everything they can think of out there. They run across the post and don't get a man free. Now they hand off to the corner where Andy Mounts has the ball. The jump shot taken and doesn't go by Ryder. Scramble for the ball, and there's a foul being called. It appeared from here to be on Nisbet. Let's see what Joe Daughter says. 3-1. That's him. Foul on Phil Nisbet. That's the third team foul. Each team has 3 team fouls at this point. And Bakersfield has brought in Taurus Dawson, number 22. Dawson just came into the ball game. And Patrick McKenzie, number 24, as Mark Hudson is starting to pull some players off the bench. He's got a pretty good bench. He's going to take this opportunity to give them some action. So we have a jump ball at the free throw line, a little different than the college rules. The high schools have not discarded the jump. And for one, as old weather-beaten ex-coach, I am in favor of that jump ball. I hate to see it taken out. It does have some effect on the game. And college ball games, of course, you just don't see it anymore, with the exception of the initial jump ball at the start of the game. 7:03 left to go in the first half. Drive for the basket. Coming down with the ball, number 23, Ted Wentz, but traveling is called by referee Jerry Scott. And the Drillers with a big 20-4 lead. Well, I'll tell you, they're going to be tough to beat by this Lemoore club. And Lemoore, frankly, as we look out there, don't look like the happiest club we've ever seen. Pass to Jennings, no question about that foul, as number 23, Ted Wentz, holds up his hand and says, yep, I got him. That'll be the 4th team foul, and we're going to be in the bonus area here shortly. A jumper from the corner. Copeland finally misses one. Rebound comes down in the hand of Mounts. They clear it out and give it to Wayne Barnes, who likes to bring the ball down the floor. He appears to be their point guard out there. Give it across to Ryder. Ryder looking for somebody. They use a man cutting from the outside across a post. Thus far, they haven't been able to clear it because Jennings is parked there. Nice pass by Jennings. Big lead. There'll be a foul on that one as Copeland went up to take the shot. Number 33, Wayne Barnes, appeared to get a pretty good whack at him. And that's the indication by referee Jerry Scott, as you saw Jerry hold up the double threes. Copeland will go to the free throw line. He'll get 2 shots. First one is good, and we'll take a quick timeout for one of our sponsors. Back into action. Here's Ronnie Copeland. Left hands it up there. Finds nothing but net. And Bakersfield High extends their margin to 22-4. And I have to be honest with you, this looks like it's all Bakersfield High School. The Drillers appear to have much too much for the Lemoore Tiger team. And the Tigers would have to make a quick turnaround to get back in this ball game. 6:02 left to go in the first half. Again, a reminder, we'll be visiting with John Henderson of Cal State Bakersfield at halftime. 2 John Hendersons, incidentally, here tonight as the athletic director at Bakersfield High School. Also John Henderson. A jumper from the side and a basket for Mike Ryder as a 6-foot junior drops one in, and that's the 6th point for Lemoore as they trail the Drillers 22-6. Long cross-court pass, not the best one in the world, goes out of bounds, and Lemoore will take the ball. Bakersfield has substituted a couple times already, and now they bring in number 32, Marshall Dillard, and they're going to give Otis Jennings a rest. So we're beginning to see the driller reserves getting into action. Dillard is in there. Dawson is in there. Number 22 is Dawson, and you see that 22 on the back there. And here comes Will Smith back into the ball game, and Smith is going to come in, and Ronnie Copeland, who has gone all the way up to here, will come out. We've hit a kind of a dead spot as the drillers have not padded their margin here in the second quarter. On the end line and clearing it out, the ball bounces off of Dawson. Long outlet pass going to Barnes. Trying to fight for the basket is number 21, Mike Ryder. And picking off the ball is Will Smith. Nice bounce to Dawson underneath, and a pretty fair crossbody block by number 21, Mike Ryder. You got good contact on that, much better than some that I saw during football season. Jerry Scott indicating that's going to be a shooting foul. Number 34, David Kelly, going to the free throw line. Kelly, in my opinion, one of the better high school players in this area, and he's only a junior. Drops that one in. Pretty rugged young man. 6'3". This one gets a kindly bounce, goes in, and the driller lead is 24-6, back to that 18-point lead. Almost carrying the ball. Shot has gotten off by Nisbet, but rebounded by the drillers as Dawson brings the ball down floor. Oh, nice behind the back pass. Smith, the jumper from about 14 feet, doesn't go. Kelly rebounds and gets the basket. And the drillers have a 20-point lead, 26-6. Biggest lead of the ball game. Well, that's going to be called blocking, I'm sure. One of those kind that you could almost call one way or the other. The toughest call to make in basketball. But number 22, Taurus Dawson, moved over in front, and it became a foul. Ecoff back in the ball game, and coming out to take a little breather is Andy Mounts. Inbound pass will be made by Ted Wentz. Bounces it in. Ecoff has it. Number 21 is Mike Ryder. Goes to the baseline, and a foul is going to be called on Dawson, and he gets two quick ones in a row. During these days when bargains are on your mind and considering a new automobile, and with all the publicity about reduced prices, see Jim Burke Ford at 2001 Oak before you make a decision. Service, courtesy, and quality, an unbeatable combination. Drop by Jim Burke Ford. You won't regret it. This is Mike Ryder on the free throw line. He gets it. And Lemoore eases up that small number of digits that they have to 7. 26-7. With just about half of the second quarter still to play. So Ryder makes it 8, and the driller lead is back to 18. Sizable margin. Coach Mark Hudson, of course, started pulling people in off the bench fairly early. And as we look out there, McKenzie, who tried to make that bounce pass in there, a foul is called. Foul is called on Wentz. And I believe that's his third personal foul. Looking up at the scoreboard here in the Bakersfield Gymnasium, 3 flashes on player fouls as Bill Finch running the score clock. And first shot by Dillard drops in. Gets a little handshake from Smith. Bill Finch and Jim Turner, what a pair they've been on the scoring table for Bakersfield College and many of the teams who play here. Tap by Kelly doesn't go, but William Smith gets it. And the driller lead now is 21, the biggest lead of the ball game. And we're having a little bit of a blowout here tonight. Barnes looking for somebody to give off to, gives it to Ryder. Ryder drives under, nice shot. Took a hard fall, but laid the ball up there. And the score is now 29-10, and they're going to ask for a towel to clean off a wet spot out there. And we'll take the opportunity to mention that the Kern Schools Federal Credit Union has been overwhelmed by the response to their 14% 2-year certificates. And there are a number of ways to get results from your extra dollars. If you're a school employee and haven't checked the possibilities stopped by 45-30 Ming or 39-01 Mount Vernon. Smith inbounding the ball to Dawson. Dawson having a little stop-and-go job with Wayne Barnes out there. Smith gets the ball on the far side away from us. They give it off to Dillard. Dillard, a bounce pass inside. Doesn't go. Fighting for the shot. Kelly doesn't go. They're still tapping. Well, I'll tell you, it looks like a volleyball game under there. Dillard apparently made a little contact under there. Jerry Scott coming over to the scoring table and says that's a foul on number 32. So Marshall Dillard, 6'3" junior, gets nailed for a foul in the basket, giving Lemoore the ball, trailing 29-10. Here's the press again. Ryder being bothered by his opposing number, William Smith, both wearing number 21. Drive for the basket. Well, blocking call, and Mark Hudson snapped his feet a little bit on the sideline. Mark didn't really think that was a blocking foul. But there's a referee right there. That's what he's getting paid for. And Nisbet will go to the free throw line as a foul was called on Marshall Dillard. 3:13 left to go in the first half. Bakersfield High 29, Lemoore 10. Phil Nisbet on the free throw line gets the first one. And here come some of the starters back in the ball game for Bakersfield. Otis Jennings, number 35, William Campbell, number 11, and Ronnie Copeland, number 12. So the drillers shift gears and go back into high, and we'll see what happens. They have a 19-point lead now. Nisbet on the free throw line gets another one. As we mentioned earlier, he is the high scorer, Lemoore. Almost a steal as Wentz came in to try to get the ball away from Copeland. Copeland will inbound the ball, looking for Smith. High inbound pass, and Smith, good ball handler, gives it to Jennings. Jennings a little farther away than he wants to be. Nice pass to Kelly. Doesn't get the bucket. And the rebound comes down in the hands of John Ekoff. Interesting name, EKHOFF. So as usual, they give the ball to Barnes, who is the key man on the outside as far as Lemoore's offense is concerned. Driller lead 29-12, 17 points. We're within the 3-minute mark as far as the first half is concerned. Nice shot by Nisbet, and we can see why this young man has a 14.7 seasonal average. Oh, look at Copeland go. He went into overdrive, but he lost the ball. Copeland has great speed. So the Tigers take the ball out of bounds. It'll be Ekoff inbounding the ball. Scramble for it. Ryder comes down with it, gets the center stripe, doesn't quite penetrate the front court. Some of the crowd screaming, but you have to be completely in the front court before you make a violation by going back over the center stripe. And the pass is broken up, and here comes Campbell. Campbell to Jennings, too far. Big Otis, as tall as he is, couldn't get his hands on that. The Drillers got that big lead early and have been content to sit on it, and that can sometimes spell trouble. It's 29-14. The Drillers had a 21-point lead at one time, and it's now down to 15. Number 33, Barnes bringing the ball down the floor, and a little contact on the play. Joe Daughter indicating that the foul is going to be on Will Smith. Kelly comes to the bench, and number 24, Pat McKenzie, comes in the ball game for Bakersfield. 1:59 left to go, and Lemoore has been cashing in from the free throw line, 15 feet out from the basket, and the first one is dropped in by Wayne Barnes. A little sawed-off guard. They say he's 5'9", but he doesn't look certainly any taller than 5'9". Husky young fella. Be tempted to think he might be a halfback on the Lemoore football team. Bakersfield comes up with the ball as McKenzie gets it. They give it to Smith. Down court pass to Ronnie Copeland, and Copeland's got quite a little stack of points to his credit. Drillers' lead now is back to 16, 31-15. A foul's going to be called on Copeland, trying to get the ball away from Barnes, doesn't get it, and Lemoore will go to free throw line again. 1:42 left to play in the second quarter. Baldwin Newell Insurance at 1122 Truxton can serve you with all lines of insurance. Business, farm, homeowners, auto, name it, they have it. Meantime, Barnes at the free throw line gets his first free throw. Lemoore had been pretty tough from the free throw line. They haven't missed too many charity tosses. And Barnes gets a pair, and the driller leads down to 14. 31-17. I tell you, you can rest perhaps a little too easily when you have that big lead. Jumper from the outside, however, and Campbell left-hands it in there, and the score is 33-17 as we're down to about a minute and a half to go in the first half. And referee Jerry Scott says, that's traveling. Henry Lewis, who's been taking a little breather, comes back in the ballgame, replacing Mike Ryder for Lemoore. And stick with us at halftime as we'll have a little visit with Cal State's John Henderson and tell you all about the regional championships that are going to be played on this floor this coming weekend. Lewis doesn't get his shot off very well. Jennings all by himself. Watch this one. Well, you could smell that one coming. Jennings saw that open basket and the open road, and he really took advantage of it. He's got it again. But look at that behind the back pass to McKenzie, and Jennings in the last 15 seconds putting on quite a show, and the driller leads back to 20, 37-17. We're down within a minute left to go in the first half. Wayne Barnes with the ball, goes all the way down the line, and a foul is called. An offensive foul on Barnes as driving down the lane, he runs over one of the guards, and referee Joe Daughter says that's going to cost you. 42 seconds left to go. Coach Jim Gordon of Lemoore came out to see what that was all about. It's not a possession foul, so the drillers, I think, are going to get the ball out of bounds and not go to the free throw line. We're waiting for the towel to get back to the bench, and now we're all set to go. Number 24, Pat McKenzie, will inbound the ball from the sideline. 42 seconds left to go. The drillers with a 37-17 lead, as they have certainly been impressive tonight. This is Copeland, and he's been awfully tough from about there, but he won't take that shot. Gives it off to Campbell. Campbell gives it to McKenzie. Doesn't go. Rebound by Copeland. He gets another one. Well, he's got about a dozen, I would say, at this point, and we'll get the official stats at halftime from Bill Finch and let you know who has how many points. Press is broken as Lewis has the ball, running down inside the 10-second mark. A shot from the corner doesn't go. Nisbet doesn't get it. Next shot by Ecoff doesn't go. They're going to run out of time. There goes the horn, and the last wild shot by Campbell goes awry. And the score at the end of halftime here in the Bakersfield College Gymnasium is Bakersfield High School 39, Lemoore High School 17. We'll be visiting with John Henderson of Cal State Bakersfield after this timeout. Halftime at the Bakersfield College Gymnasium with the score as we look up the scoreboard. Bakersfield High School 39, Lemoore High School 17, and we're happy to visit at halftime with John Henderson, the Sports Information Director at Cal State Bakersfield, who is still recovering, I'm sure, from a heart-rending and a blood-curdling win by Cal State Bakersfield's fine Roadrunners over at Cal Poly. John, that was a great ball game.
Yeah, you said it when you said it was a blood-curdling one. I'd say if I had to go through many games like that in a year, I don't think I would make it. But it was an exciting game, and I think not taking anything away from Cal Poly, I think our team just rose to the occasion and did an excellent job.
Well, they did a great job. It was one of the better ball games I think I've seen over the years, and I've seen quite a handful of them. John, the reason that we wanted to visit with you tonight is since we're releasing this ball game on a Sunday night, and ticket sales are about ready to go for the NCAA Division II regionals held on this floor this coming weekend. We'd like to just turn the mic over to you and let you tell the folks how they can go about getting tickets and how this is all going to work out.
Fine. Yeah, I would just like to say that what we're going to try and do is accommodate all the fans that we can with the tickets that we have. And just to remind people that the regionals will be on Friday and Saturday of this week, the 5th and the 6th. We'll have the games starting at 7 and 9 o'clock. The gates will open at 6 p.m. both nights. And we don't know the pairings as of yet, so we'll have to wait on that until later on in the week, but we will know, and as soon as we do, we'll make that information available. So far as ticket prices and availability, the way this will work is on Tuesday they will be on sale to the general public at the Cal State Gym athletic ticket office there, at Bakersfield College, and at the Chamber of Commerce. The Roadrunner Club members and season ticket holders will have an opportunity to buy tickets on Monday morning at the CSB Gym at the athletic ticket office, starting at regular business hours, 8 in the morning. We'll have tickets available there for them. Now, the only restrictions we put on the sale there are the lower level seats. There'll be a limit of 6 tickets per card holding member for lower level seats. Now, for the upper level seats, there is no limit. The prices are set by the NCAA, so we're simply on the ticket prices following their policy there. Prices will be $450 for lower level seats and $350 for the upper level seats.
Well, now there will be 4 teams involved, of course, in this particular weekend. And we know that, of course, the Roadrunners are one, and Cal Poly Mustangs will be the second team. You want to hazard a guess right now as to who the other 2 teams might be?
Certainly, I'll take that chance. Right now, we know pretty certain the third team will be the Far Western Conference tournament champion that will come out of the Shaughnessy tournament, which is being played tonight, Friday, and Saturday night. So we'll have the Far Western Conference champion from that tournament will be the third team. Now the fourth team will be, that's the one that's still to be decided by a game tonight at Eastern Montana against Eastern Washington at Eastern Montana. Those 2 teams have a very good chance of being selected. The winner does, once that game is concluded. The winner of that game will have an excellent chance. Another team in the northwestern part of the United States, which is also a possibility, is Alaska Anchorage, which has had an excellent year this year. They were ranked in the top 20 in Division II for several weeks going. However, they did have a bad week last week. They lost their last 3 games, which has sort of hurt their chances, but still they would have to be considered one of the possibilities. So it looks like right now there would be Cal State Bakersfield, Cal Poly San Luis Obispo, the Far Western Conference tournament champion, and one of those 3 teams that I mentioned, Eastern Montana, Eastern Washington, or possibly Alaska Anchorage.
Well, we really put John on the spot there because, as you folks know, we're doing this ball game on a Friday night. We're going to show it to you on a Sunday night, and some of the answers might very well be out in public print or on the media when we release this ball game. So we're going to see just how accurate this young fellow is in picking those other 2 ball clubs. But regardless, John, the thing we want to get back to before we turn you loose is that there are about 3,400 seats in this particular building, and folks who want to get one of those 3,400 better get them in a hurry.
Yes, we're hoping to have a good crowd. I think we'll have a good crowd. The interest has really picked up here in the last 2 or 3 months, and the team has been doing so well. So we hope to have a good crowd both Friday and Saturday nights for all 4 games.
This really is, too, our first chance to thank the folks at Cal State Bakersfield during the present sports season. We've worked with them in various events, and we've found them to be nothing but a great group of people, especially this young fellow to my left and your right as you're looking at him. And we want to extend our appreciation to you, Joe C., Bobby Dye, all the rest of your fine crew. We thought Bobby might be able to make it tonight, but we know where he is. He's up there looking at a team that he thinks he might have to play.
Yes, the Far Western Conference tournament is, as you said, is going on tonight, Friday, and Saturday, and we'll, of course, know by airtime who the winners were of that tournament. But the 4 teams that are up there now are Chico State, Sacramento State. They'll be playing the first game Friday night, and then UC Davis plays San Francisco State Friday night also. Now the two winners of both of those games will play Saturday night for the championship, and the winner of that game on Saturday will be the Far Western Conference pick for the tournament.
Well, this one's about ready to get back into action, so we're going to thank John again for dropping by and turning him loose, but suggest that you folks support the Roadrunners in this regional championships that are coming up. It should be a great event for the city of Bakersfield and the county of Kern, and we're looking forward to it. Thanks, John, for coming by.
Thanks a lot, Gil, for having me.
We'll be back with you after this timeout. Great.
Okay, good.
Thanks a million.
Oh, hey, anytime. The more we can get the word out, the better
Well,
off we'll be.
That's what we're in business for.
I'm going to kind of look around this place and see what the seating. I know these are the risers.
Let me know when you're back into action at the Bakersfield College Gymnasium. Bakersfield High and white out in front 39-17 as we start the second half, and the drillers come up with the ball as it bounces around, and eventually the young man who made the center tap came down with it, gives it off to Will Smith. Jennings underneath, up off the glass and in. Nice soft bank shot, and the driller lead goes to 41-17, a 24-point lead. And it would appear that the Tigers from Lemoore are about to lose their stripes here tonight. Rebound by Copeland. Nice pass to Smith. In she goes, and quickly the drillers pick up 4 points, 43-17. Barnes with the ball, runs into Copeland out there, meets him about the top of the key. Lemoore working the ball around the outside, and Jennings just a little too tall, but it went off a white shirt, and the ball will go to Lemoore. Pretty tough to shoot over that big, tall, agile Mr. Jennings. Fine young ball player. And they tell us that he is a real leader on this ball club. Lemoore finding the drill is awfully tough to penetrate. Barnes tries to go, decides to take a shot. It wasn't the greatest in the world. Jennings just reached up there and got it. Copeland headed off by Barnes, gives it across to Campbell. Campbell fires, doesn't get it. Scrambled for the rebound, and Andy Mounts comes down with it. Almost stolen by Campbell. This is Nisbet, and the foul is going to be... Well, let's see what Jerry Scott says. Scott says the foul is on number 31, Phil Nisbet. Had his arm out. Little blocking foul. First foul of the second half. 6:34 left to play in the third quarter. Drillers moving the ball around the outside of that rather tight defense, but how do you stop that one? Well, that's the way you stop it. You grab him by the arm and don't let him shoot. So Jennings will certainly go to the free throw on line on that one. Foul was called on Mike Ryder, and Jennings will go to the free throw line. Jennings has a nice touch from here. Take a look at him. There it goes, and there it's in. He does everything very well. Great young prospect. Throws that floater up there. This one doesn't go. Scramble for the ball. Campbell comes down with it, doesn't get it, and the rebound goes to Lemoore's Mike Ryder. Ryder decides to get rid of it, and coming down the sideline toward us is Nisbet. Nisbet stop and go, gets a shot off, doesn't make it. Rebound by Copeland. Copeland really hustles. Pass was to Campbell, back to Copeland, and referee Joe Daughter says, no, you took a step too many. So Lemoore will take the ball out of bounds to the end line. The score again, Bakersfield High School 44, Lemoore High School 17, and the drillers would appear to have this one safely locked up in the refrigerator. Remember, this continues next week. Shot from the side by Nisbet. He's the big scorer on this Lemoore ball club. Copeland down through the key. Beautiful shot. He can hustle. 46-19. Bill Finch just gave us the word that that's 18 points for Copeland at this point in the ball game. Back pass to Jennings, and Jennings appeared to be clobbered a little bit underneath the basket. The indication that the foul is on. Well, we want to check that, but I think it's Mounts. It is Andy Mounts, 43. Foul on Mounts. Jennings goes to the free throw line. Got 1 for 2 the last trip up there. Let's see what he does this time. Lays it up there, doesn't get the bounce, and it comes out. Throws a kind of a floater. This one goes in. And the score goes to 47-19. It's just a case now, I'm afraid, of how many the Drillers are going to pile up and how much action they get from the rest of their ball club in preparing for their second ball game in the playoffs. Unless something drastically happens here tonight, like the roof falling in on the gymnasium, the Drillers are going to be playing again on Friday night on their own floor. This floor will be taken up by the Roadrunners, so you got great places to go to watch basketball. Jennings doesn't get it. Rebound by Lemoore comes down in the hands of Wentz, and they'll bring the ball down the floor. 47-19, a 28-point lead. Long shot from the outside as Nisbet fires from a little too far out, I'd say. And Camel with the ball, gives it to Copeland. He likes that spot. Doesn't get that one, however, and Lemoore again rebounds. They have a man in the clear, but nobody saw him. Getting just a little ragged out there right now. 21 is Ryder, and the ball is lost under the basket. Apparently Smith had a hand on the ball, and Lemoore will take it out of bounds. Number 23, Ted Wentz, inbounds the ball to Nisbet. Their scoring threat goes down the baseline. Oh, quite a backhand shot, but it didn't connect. Copeland keeping the ball. Pass across, goes to Kelly. Nice pass. Good layup by David Kelly. Lemoore quickly down the floor, but Campbell's down to do a little defensive work. Goes clear out of him in the bleachers, and the Drillers finally get the ball back. This is Smith to Copeland. He loses the ball. He wanted to hand off to Jennings, but the ball got away from him. 49-19, and Lemoore is going to take a timeout, and we'll take a timeout for one of our sponsors. And we're ready to go back in action. Lemoore will have the ball out of bounds. Pepsi-Cola is a great drink, featured at all sports events, and Rob and I wish we each had one right now. It's a little warm here in the gymnasium. Pepsi is noted for being part of the sports scene, but that's not all. Special services such as fountain equipment, ice makers, bulk service for big events. The Pepsi Center at 215 East 21st can take care of you. Remember, Pepsi-Cola. So back into action with a 49-19 ball game. 30-point lead for the Drillers. And here comes William Smith. Gives it off to Copeland. Back over the shoulder. A little too fancy. Jennings wasn't looking for that one. Up and in. William Smith. And I'll tell you, it's just a case now, I'm afraid, of how big this score is going to get. But it's interesting to watch this Driller team, as if they win this one, they'll have another one coming up this coming weekend on their own floor. And we hope all your Driller fans are there to support them. Kelly up and in. You could almost have called goaltending on that one. Kelly gets a basket. Number 23, Wentz fires, scramble for the ball. Lemoore actually looking tired and getting kind of desperate out there. Campbell looked like he might have gotten whacked as he went in there. Foul from here would appear to have been on Mike Ryder. And that's the call by referee Jerry Scott. It's kind of a tough game to work. Officials tonight, Joe Daughter and Jerry Scott. You get one of these kinds of games, they're not the easiest in the world to work. They get a little ragged. Drillers out in front 53-19. And another call under the basket. Pushing foul being called on Andy Mounts. And Lemoore is going to lose some ball players here pretty soon, the way things are going. They have 5 team fouls in the second half, and the Drillers have yet to rack up one. 3 minutes left to go here in the third quarter. Jennings rolls that one in. Looked like he threw a knuckler up there that time. Oh, this kid sure has great possibilities. He's a good one. Got a lot of help out there, too. This one bounces around and doesn't go. Scramble for the ball, and the purple Tigers come down with the ball. This is Nisbet. He's their big shooter. Goes to Wentz. Kind of a hopeful shot. Ball too far, goes out of bounds. And we see Chester Britton has sneaked in the ball game on us there. Number 14 is in the ball game. Rory Key also came in during that last time out. He wears number 23 if you spot those numbers out there. And again, Mark Hudson, the Bakersfield High School coach, starting to get some of the boys off the bench. Long outside shot by Barnes. Rebound recovered and blocked by Jennings. And Lemoore has 3 men down there. Now, why that handoff was made, I'll never know. Barnes had a perfect shot, decided to be gracious, made the pass, and in the process, Rory Key is called for following Ted Wentz. 23 fouls 23. So Wentz will go to the free throw line. Now, that's a case of being two-team conscious, I think, but give him credit. Ted Wentz, a senior, 6'3", 54-19. Bakersfield High School with a tremendous lead, and it's not going to get much smaller, I'm afraid. Wentz drops one in, and here comes number 25, John Ekoff, who will replace Andy Mounts. Ekoff is the number 1 player off the bench for the Tigers. Saw quite a bit of action in the first half. Wentz on the free throw line, taking his second shot, bounces off the front rim, and the drillers come down with the ball. Rory Key, we haven't seen too much of Key. Gives it off to Campbell. Nice move, rolls it around the rim, and the basket is made by Key. Says that Rory is 5'11". He's not certainly any more than that. Trouble is, you stand out there alongside of Jennings, you don't look too big. Scramble for the rebound. Nice job by David Kelly. And again, the pass is too long. Drillers twice now have thrown the ball away, and the ball bounced into the trash can. So Joe Daughter brings it out. The crowd applauds the players. That's one basket they won't get 2 points for. 1:54 and the clock ticking down, 56-20. Bakersfield High out in front of Lemoore. A jumper by Nisbet, a little too far. Kelly gets the rebound. He gets a lot of them. And here is Chad Wilburn in there. Pass to Wilburn underneath. Comes back out to Kelly, gets the rim. Lemoore gets the ball. Drillers have been sneaking in their reserves on us. And they only have 2 starters still left out there. Kelly's in there, and Campbell's in there. And on that play, Wentz got whacked. Probably by Kelly. Here's the indication, 3-4, says referee Daughter. And we'll see if that's a shooting foul. In the meantime, Marshall Dillard, number 32, comes in the ball game, and Campbell, one of the starters, will go to the bench. Wentz will go to the free throw line. 56-20, the Drillers out in front in what has been a Driller ball game all the way. Wentz gets a charitable bounce. Takes plenty of time, gets another one. So it's 56-22. Under the basket, Dillard. Nice pass, incidentally, by Chester Britton on that play. Made a beautiful feed. Barnes gives it across to Nisbet, and Nisbet is, I think, shooting about 3 feet farther out than he ought to. A call on that last play would appear to have been against Wilburn. Indication by referee Daughter, and that's what it will be. Chad Wilburn, he's 6'5", but he's only a junior. I tell you, this is a young ball club. They lose Jennings, and that's all. Meantime, Henry Lewis goes out on the floor, and Mike Ryder will take a blow. Lemoore bench, obviously, pretty well down at this particular point. Eekhoff on the free throw line gets his first one, as Lemoore trails by 35 points. Now it's 34. 58-24. Britton trying to find somebody to give it to and gives it to Dillard. Wilburn down the baseline. Nice soft shot. Doesn't get it. Kelly rebound. Doesn't get it, but gets the rebound. However, the second time it bounces off his hands, and there's going to be a foul called on Chester Britton. Floyd's and owner Floyd Burcham have been part of our sports community for many years, and we're proud to have them as sponsors. Clothing, sports equipment, garden supplies, office furniture. No limit as to what Floyd's has in store for you. And those stores are at 3940 Chester and 2020 South Chester. In the meantime, the clock is ticking down in the last half minute of the third quarter. Score Bakersfield High 58, Lemoore High School 24. Barnes gets one off, scramble for the ball, and Dillard has it. Outlet pass going to Key. Key at the back of the key, gets the shot off, and bingo. And the Drillers are up to 60-24. Kind of a haphazard shot, but Wentz goes back and gets a decent one off and gets 2 points. 4 seconds left to go. And Key throws a line drive, doesn't go anywhere. And we've reached the end of the third quarter with a score. Bakersfield High School 60, Lemoore High School 26, and we'll take a timeout for one of our sponsors. Back into action, the start of the fourth quarter. The high schools have a jump ball at the start of each session, different than the college rules, which we mentioned before we really don't like. We like the jump ball. Oh, Jennings got behind everybody. Otis Jennings drops one in very easily, and we have a feeling that Otis is not going to play too much more here in the fourth quarter. They'll probably get him on the bench and get some more of the reserves in the ball game. Nesbitt, not much of a shot as Dillard, big, strong young man, comes down with the ball. Smith to Copeland, and this is McKenzie. Doesn't go. Dillard trying to tap the ball in, and Copeland has it, doesn't get the shot off. Lemoore again with the ball, and they'll give it off to Wayne Barnes. Lemoore trying now just to make it a decent showing as Barnes drops it in. We hope that you'll stay with us at the end of the game because Athletic Director John Henderson of Bakersfield High is scheduled to sit in with us and talk about the upcoming game. While we were telling you that, Ronnie Copeland gets another basket. Boy, he's got a hatful tonight. And we hope also to have the winning coach for a word or two. And it would appear at this point there's not much question about who that is. So Nisbet, their 14.7 scorer this season, bangs one in from long distance, and it's 64-30. Copeland driving down the lane. The ball gets away from him, but is touched by Eekhoff on the way out of bounds. Here comes Richard Sims, number 45, replacing Nisbet. Sims is a senior, and I think the coach, Jim Gordon, is trying to get his seniors in and give them a little action before the season comes to a close. It would appear that tonight will be the closing night of the Lemoore season, and they've had a good one. Can't take it away from them. 17-6, 17-7 if they lose this one. Runner-ups for the Western Yosemite title. Nice shot by Ted Wentz. And they're trying to make this thing as respectable as possible. It's now 64-32. Copeland, and he caught Dillard, I'm afraid, expecting him to shoot that time. Copeland is awfully tricky, and you've got to keep your eyes open out there or he'll put one right between them. Barnes banks one in. So Lemoore closes the gap to 30 points, if you can close a gap of 30 points. Copeland to Jennings, goes off of Jennings' hands, and another substitute for Lemoore. It will be Scott Reddick, number 55, who will come in the game, and Bakersfield is going to take a timeout. And the timeout has expired, and we're back into action with 5.5 minutes left to go in the ball game. Barnes giving the ball off underneath to Sims, who just came in the ball game a moment or two ago. And a foul is going to be called on Marshall Dillard for pushing. Dillard 6'3" and a pretty good chunk of basketball player, very well built. Going to the free throw line, Richard Sims, 5'11" senior from Lemoore. Doesn't get it, rebound by Jennings. Jennings gives it off to Copeland, who comes down the floor. I'll tell you, he really comes down, but Barnes takes it away from him. Copeland now trying to stop him. Rebound by Smith as Barnes hurried his shot. Long full court pass, nice feed by Jennings. Jennings could have taken that in. Instead of that, he gave it off to Copeland. Going to have a calculator to count up Copeland's points tonight. 66-34, 5 minutes left to go. Lewis with the ball, gives it off out to Barnes. This is Sims from the side, doesn't get much of anything. Scramble underneath. Nice block by Jennings. Long outlet pass, but thrown to the wrong guy. Barnes again, he's going to go all the way. Hands it off underneath. There'll be a foul on that. No basket, and the foul is going to be on Will Smith. Number 25, John Ecoff, was underneath trying to get the shot off, but Smith got him first. David Mills, number 35, comes into the ball game, and Barnes will go out. Barnes, a tough little customer. And for Bakersfield, number 13, Lee Battle, a 5'10" junior, comes in, replacing Marshall Dillard. We wouldn't be surprised if Jennings departs next. Shot from the free throw line is good by Ecoff. 66-35. 4:40 left to play in the ball game. And a few of the people departing. And Ecoff gets another one. Lemoore's got a sizable percentage of their score tonight from the free throw line. 66-36. 30-point lead again. Drillers working against a press now as the Tigers are out there swinging away trying to get the ball. Nice pass by Jennings and a basket by Patrick McKenzie, and a foul is going to be called on Ecoff. There you see referee Joe Daughter going through the signs and telling official scorekeeper Bill Finch. Official timer is Jim Turner. And of course, this is coming to you over Warner Amex Cable, a Camera One production. Rob Bishop is the producer. And tune in at 7 o'clock every Sunday night. That one just hit the front of the rim. McKenzie just didn't quite reach the bucket. Shot from the outside by Mills, doesn't go. Rebound by Dawson. Well, here we go. Yay! Well, the crowd loves that, of course. Two-handed stuff. Turning the ball over is called on Lewis, and the ball will go to the Drillers. In front of the Lemoore bench, Taurus Dawson will inbounds the ball. Dawson takes a shot, hits the rim, scramble for the ball. Ball comes back to him. Underneath, not much of a position to shoot from there for Battle. He took a crack at it, and Lemoore comes down with the ball. Shot from the outside doesn't go by Mills. Drillers have it. Long outlet pass again is too long. Powerful left arm of William Campbell was just a little too much. And here comes Jennings. He'll get a hand. Chad Wilburn, a 6'5" junior, probably will be the pivot man on this Driller team next year in the ball game now. Pretty fair ball player, too. Tough luck at playing behind somebody like Jennings. Shot from the outside doesn't go, and that's what we mean. Wilburn gets the rebound. Gives it off to Dawson. Nice bounce pass. Shot doesn't go by Campbell, but the foul is going to be called on number 24, Patrick McKenzie. Campbell, I'm afraid, did a little turn shot on that one, and the Drillers are now relaxing at the point where they're probably making a move or two that Coach Mark Hudson is not too enamored with. Mark does a fine job of coaching, one of the young coaches in our area. got a little training and working with Ralph Krabby, the Bakersfield College coach, and he's done a fine job with this Bakersfield High School team. Shot made by number 51, Vieira, who just came in the ball game, and he doesn't get anything out of it. He's only a freshman. Scramble underneath. Lemoore comes up with the ball. Shot from the outside doesn't go by Sims, and the Drillers have it. So back and forth we go. Here's Campbell. No go. And there we go back the other way, but Dawson is there. So the Drillers still have the ball. Ball bounces off of one of the purple knees, and under the basket is Scott Reddick, 6'2" junior. And it looks like somebody was shaken up on that last play. Number 22, Taurus Dawson, shaken up on the last play, is stretched out on the floor. And there'll be a timeout taken to give this young man a chance to get back into action. I have a hunch he might have gotten a knee in his thigh. Just awfully hard to tell. If so, that really hurts. Could be most anything, or we certainly were not in a position to tell, but he's limping off the floor. Let's hope it's not a knee or an ankle. Scrappy young player, one of the first to come off the bench to see action. He's a junior, 6 foot junior. 2:38 left to play, and the Drillers are now up to 70. Score 70-38, with Bakersfield High School, without doubt, hosting a ball game Friday night in their own gym. As we do this game, we don't know who that will be, but you will know because it will be reported. A foul into the basket could have been against David Mills. No, it's 5-5, not 3-5, and the foul is on Scott Reddick. Going to the free throw line is Patrick McKenzie. McKenzie goes to the free throw line. His team out in front by 32 points, 70-38. Drops the first one in with a little left-handed push. Well, this Driller team is going to be tough next year. They lose Jennings, and that's it. And the second one rolls in for Patrick McKenzie, who's only a sophomore, 6'2" sophomore. Team plays very well together. Sims driving for the basket, doesn't get anything. Scramble underneath, doesn't go for O'Reilly. And down the floor come the Drillers. Ending up under the basket with Wilburn, and he drops it in. He needs about 20 pounds on that slender frame of his, and he'll be a tough one. 2 minutes left to go in the ball game as the ball is knocked out of bounds, apparently off the fingers of number 41, Kelly O'Reilly, a sophomore who just came into the game a few moments ago. The Drillers now playing with their reserves in there. Scramble for the ball. Wilburn. He looks better to me all the time. This young fellow does an excellent job when he comes in off the bench. Reddick fires one, doesn't get anything. Shot is blocked by McKenzie. Drillers coming down the floor. Key takes a shot, doesn't get anything. Sims gets the rebound for Lemoore. And we're up and down the floor now with less than a minute and a half left to play. Shot from the outside, right through the net by Pat Vieira. This young man's a freshman, and the Lemoore crowd, of course, happy to see a freshman get a two-pointer on the scoreboard. Underneath, McKenzie doesn't get it. Scramble for the ball. A little shoving went on underneath. And referee Scott says that foul is on Patrick McKenzie, a little shoving foul. And Lemoore will, I think, put Vieira up at the free throw line. That's who it is, number 51. Pat Vieira, 6'1" freshman, 76-40, as the Driller lead is now extended to 36 points. Stick with us, and we'll give you all the word on the upcoming ball game to be played at Bakersfield High School this coming Friday night. We hope to have John Henderson with us, and we hope to also get Mark Hudson up and congratulate this young fellow for the job that he's done. Well, Sims drove down the lane. Wilburn was there to meet him. And Wilburn got a piece of the ball and got a pretty good piece of Sims. So Sims goes to the free throw line. We have 55 seconds left to go. Drops it in. As we wrap this up, we want to thank our sponsors, Floyd's, Jim Burke Ford, Baldwin Newell Insurance, Kern Schools Federal Credit Union, and PepsiCo. They've been responsible for the sports special. That was Scott Reddick dropping that through. It's great to have these merchants in our community supporting a program which is designed by the various athletic teams in our community. We appreciate being with us, and we hope that you'll be with us. Down to 40 seconds, 76 to 43. Shot by Sims, and he gets it. 76-45, down to a half minute left to play. Bakersfield High School will go on, and carrying the ball, pretty obvious. Rory Key couldn't get the ball off his fingertip and carried it down the sideline. Pretty obvious the Drillers are going to go into the next round of play. Lemoore trying to get something. Pass gets away from Pat Vieira. Tigers, of course, have got their bench in there now, giving all their players a chance to get some action. This will finish their season with a record of 17 wins and 7 losses. Not too bad a year. McKenzie trying to get free. Foul is going to be called underneath. 5-5. That's Scott Reddick. 13 seconds left to go. McKenzie will go to the free throw line. And this one is just about seeing its last few seconds. So referee Scott says too long. How about that? Haven't seen that 10-second rule call for a long time. But you have 10 seconds when you go to the free throw line, and if you don't get the shot off, you have the ball taken away from you, and that's what we saw. So 11 seconds left to go, 76 to 45, Bakersfield High out in front. Tigers would like to get another 2 points, but the long, wild pass picked off by Wilburn. This is Rory Key driving in, doesn't get it. Don't think they'll get off another shot. Well, here's Reddick, maybe he will. I don't know about that. Reddick thinks so, and they may give it to him. It was a tight fit. So 76 to 47, Bakersfield High the winners, and we hope to have John Henderson and hopefully have Mark Hudson with us in just a moment. And here's the coach of the winning team, Mark Hudson, whose Bakersfield High School Drillers completely swamped a pretty fair Lemoore Tiger ball club. Mark, you got to be happy with your kids' performance tonight.
Yeah, we haven't played Gill in 10 days, and I was happy that they could come out and hustle, play good team ball. That's what we wanted to do, and I thought we did a pretty good job of it.
Well, I thought your starters played well. They went out and took control of the ball game, and then I was especially impressed by the boys who came off your bench.
Well, I think we have a lot of talent on our bench, and we only graduate one senior. Of course, that's Otis, and that's a heck of a guy to lose. But I think we got a fine club, and there's a lot of guys sitting on that bench that can play.
Well, we mentioned the fact that you only lose Otis, and I said the same thing. As I look out there, and I'm not going to name them all off because you'd have to name everybody. It's nice to see, 12 out of 13 come back?
11 out of 12.
11 out of
12. 12 guys, right.
Well, of course, we're doing this on a Friday night, and we'll be released on a Sunday night. By the time we come on the air, folks will know who you are going to play. But as we're standing here now, who will your opponent be? One of two teams. Which are the two teams?
We play the winner between Clovis High School and Fresno and Tulare Western. We played Clovis earlier in the year. They play a slow, deliberate game. I think we beat them by 15 or 18. Tulare Western's a run and gun team. They like to run and shoot the ball, so I'm rooting for Tulare Western.
Well, your kids did a great job. Now you'll play the ball game since Cal State Bakersfield will be playing the regionals here. You'll play it in your own gym, and that probably won't make you unhappy, although My gosh, you haven't done anything but things right here on this floor this year.
Yeah, we like this gym. This is a beautiful place to play, but our guys wanted to be at home, and they're happy we get to be at home Friday.
Well, we're going to turn you loose. I know you want to go down to that locker room, but great job. We're really pleased to see you come out winners, and best of luck next week.
Thank you. See you later.
Mark Hudson has been our guest. I don't know whether we'll get John Hudson up here or not, but they're starting to turn out the lights. John, you're going to have to move quick. They're turning the lights out on us, but we did want to get John Henderson, the athletic director at Bakersfield High School, on for just a moment. John, you got to be happy as the AD.
Oh, yes.
I thought Mark's kids did a fine job.
They did a real good job.
I just wanted you to tell the folks a little bit about what the ticket situation and the location of the game for Friday night.
Okay, Friday night we'll play at Bakersfield High School, and we'll have a pre-ticket sale. Probably start about Wednesday at least. And we'll either play Terry Western or Clovis, the winner of that game.
So folks should keep their eyes on the newspaper and listen to the radio and TV, and they'll get the word.
Yes.
Well, they're starting to count the lights on us here, and kind of a one-sided game, but I thought that Mark's kids did a great job.
They did a good job. They really did. Everyone got to play, and they all played well, so that makes it better for everyone.
Well, we're always happy to see that home team win, and they did a fine job.
Right, especially at Bakersfield High School.
Appreciate you coming by, John. Well, that's it for tonight. You just saw Bakersfield High hand the Lemoore Tigers. Are pretty good looking, and they'll go on to play a game on Friday night. We don't know at this point, but you will know when you watch this ball game who this will be. Our thanks to our sponsors. This has been a Camera One production produced by Rob Bishop, coming to you through Warner Amex Cable Television. And so for tonight, this is Gil Bishop wishing you a pleasant good evening.